morning and welcome back to Broshar's Adventures. I'm Derek Broshar, and today I'm going to be doing an unlikely comparison between the GoPro Hero 7 Black and the RYLO 360 camera. Now I know these cameras are two completely different form factors. Obviously, one is 360, it's got the two lenses on either side with a really wide field of view, even when you use it in the 180 mode. But the new GoPro has Hypersmooth, which is a stabilization thing that they have added to this to make it incredibly smooth, and they've added time warp, which is sort of a time-lapse or a hyperlapse feature. And I'm going to just put them through a little comparison of the stabilization because I've had the RYLO here for about 10 months, and the RYLO has absolutely incredible stabilization. It had some problems when I first got it, not in the stabilization, but in the color department. They have since fixed that. They have made the app a lot better, and they have added some features that weren't on this before, like Bluetooth. This does shoot 4K in a sphere. This shoots 4K just in the 16:9 off the front camera there. When using the RYLO in 180 degree mode, it actually shoots 1080p video, but the lens, when you're shooting in 360, each lens here is 208 field of view. So it actually has a little narrower field of view than usual, but that's to help with the stabilization. And I can tell you, I've used that mode a lot because most of my content obviously isn't 360, and I think it works fantastically. I'm hoping the GoPro can stand up to that because the GoPro overall is the more versatile camera. It can go underwater up to 10 meters without any extra housing. It shoots 4K at 60 with the stabilization. It does higher frame rates for slowdown, a lot of stuff that the RYLO can't do. Now both of them are pretty close to the same size, as you can tell here. They're almost the exact same thickness. The height is a little bit different, but I mean, either of these cameras is going to be extremely small and really fun to play with. Like I said, this isn't an exact comparison of the two cameras because obviously two different form factors. The GoPro is the overall better camera, but I want to see the stabilization since they claim it's gimbal killing stabilization, and the RYLO claimed that over a year ago as well. So I'm just going to set them to similar modes. I'm going to set 1080p, 30 frames a second, and super view on the GoPro, and the RYLO I'm just going to take it straight out of the camera, put it on my phone, and put them head to head. So I'm going to head outside now. Alright, now that I'm outside, I've got both the cameras set pretty similarly. I've got the GoPro here on my left and the RYLO here on my right now. And I'm just going to do some running tests. I'm going to run a little bit right now, see what the stabilization is like handheld. They are kind of shaking up and down, I can see that. I do know the RYLO has really good stabilization, so I'm pretty confident in that. But the Hypersmooth stabilization of the GoPro should be comparable in similar tests of walking and running. Now I'm just going to turn the cameras around and go for a little run. There's one feature of the RYLO that I really like that I'm not sure, and I probably don't think that the GoPro has it, but it auto levels the horizon. It actually uses the entire sensor, since the sensor is, well, the lens is round. I don't know if the sensor is actually round, but when I turn the cameras like this, you will be able to see that the RYLO should stay absolutely the same, and no matter if I put it down by my feet, bring it back up, it should have stayed exactly the same. Also, since the GoPro has the new time warp feature, I'm going to test that out too, because RYLO in app you can actually do basically a time warp. It's just a hyperlapse. And I'm going to go around my block right now and shoot both of them and match them up. Now directly out of the camera with absolutely no post-processing, I actually like the GoPro's profile better, and that's because it's more contrasty and saturated, where the RYLO is a little more flat, where you'd have to kind of work with the colors a little bit. But they both do a really good job. I still really enjoy the auto horizon level on the RYLO just because no matter where you point it, it's always going to be facing up, which is a really good feature because then you don't have to flip your footage in post. With this new version of the GoPro, I am really impressed with the stabilization. As you can see from the running test, it pretty much looks like there is a gimbal there. I'm not going to say it's a gimbal killer per se because gimbals do a lot more than just stabilize the footage in one direction. They have really nice panning and tilting shots, but just for your average user, this is incredible to have. And as you could probably tell from some of the tests, the RYLO doesn't do so well with the sun flares. The GoPro has got a lot better over the years. In the previous versions I've seen that there was a ton of flaring around the sun, where right now whatever coating they've used absolutely makes it look better. The RYLO still has some trouble with that. Also, I do enjoy the contrasty sort of saturated look out of the GoPro right out of the camera. You can get that with the RYLO as well, but you have to go into the app and edit the colors. So just right out of the camera, the GoPro is looking better. It obviously shoots 4K. This is just a fun comparison anyway, so I'm not comparing them head to head which camera you should actually buy. If you want a 360 camera with stabilization and all that kind of stuff, the RYLO is a great choice. If you want a all-around action camera and you couldn't care less about 360 features, obviously the GoPro is going to be the one you're going to choose. The RYLO is around $499 and the GoPro is around $399 now. They brought their prices down this year and they have a better camera. I'm definitely going to keep both of them in my bag because I can still find uses for either of them, but I think the GoPro is going to be more of my daily driver run and gun sort of camera now. Thank you for watching this video. Smash the like and subscribe button below to see more from my travels around the world, and if you want to see more comparison videos or gear videos. Safe travels and never stop adventuring.